Okay, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Just settle in after for those of us here on the continent of the USA, we've had our day. And then there's, a couple of you already a day ahead of us, a morning ahead of us. If you've got your feet down flat on the floor, just, have them about a hips width apart. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And go back down to the feet and feel the sensations of the feet in the floor. Feel the weight of your pelvis into the seat that you're sitting on, the weight of your hands in your lap. So they can just be resting in your lap or in the meditation mudra. And just, check your shoulders and are aligned with your hips. And then just check your ears are aligned with your shoulders. And now just imagine your spine is this really beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. But imagine you're lengthening your spine. Put some space in between the vertebrae. Just imagine that. Then lengthen the back of the neck. Just enough so that your head is tipped just slightly forward. So not too far forward that you're going to fall asleep. Or not. So we just want to avoid this kind of chin up thing. So just kind of a little bit of length in the back of the neck. And go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And relax. Imagine you're relaxing your teeth even. And the back of the tongue, the jaw, the temples, the ear and the inner ear. Relax the back of the head. Your occipital bone, that area. Just allow your shoulders to drop, shoulder blades to drop. Relax the throat, your chest, your belly, and all of your limbs. And just pay attention to the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. The nostrils, the thoracic cavity, the belly, and be aware of any sound in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there. So just try not to investigate every single little distraction that floats past your sensory, all those different senses, the ears, the nose. And just allow it all to be there. And then notice what thoughts might be arising for you. So, for those of you who've just woken up, your brain may not have completely kicked into gear yet. So those of us here who've already had a day of it, the mind might be a little busier. So just notice what's there and just, pay attention to the time of the day, because it could sort of change things in terms of how you think and feel. And so whatever emotions might be arising, try not to follow them. Because often we get things wrong, you know. We have opinions about things, we have ideas about things, we have feelings. And sometimes we base all this on something that's not really accurate. So put some space in between the thoughts. Allow them to arise and abide. And then just try and be very curious about what's in the mind. And be objective. And just allow the thoughts to arise, to abide. And then if you don't kind of grab onto them and start engaging in the story and the emotion, they'll just dissipate. So then bringing briefly to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like. These relationships are interchangeable. They're all equal. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. These people, just like you and me, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So, we do this meditation for all these people of our life, for all sentient beings. And some of you may have individuals in your life, situations in your life that you might want to kind of motivate, dedicate for. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. Their being crossed represents enlightenment, infinite wisdom, and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So, in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So, think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then all beings you have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those beings who have harmed you, and particularly for them, have a strong wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. And now we come to this power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this kind of overflows quite forcefully and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Drita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Trida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Drita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. So anything you write, anything you put on social media, anything you sort of say to someone, make sure it benefits them as well as yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. Excuse me, and Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch and the light that comes is just instant, dispels the darkness. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments, all your neediness, all your bitterness, grudges, disappointments, anxiety, depression, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're just gone. And now think there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And just imagine that Vajrasattva is now sending light and nectar. And imagine the nectar flowing down and purifying all the negativities of the body, the nectar flowing up, purifying all the negativities of the speech, and then the light coming and blasting all the negativities of the delusions. And just imagine you've kind of purified, eradicated even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. So this becomes this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without making a decision like this, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. And this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming, becomes like a beacon that guides your body and your speech and your mind in new directions. So just think everything exists on the tip of the wish, this aspiration, this kind of want to do something. And then everything else will just kind of fall into place behind that. But we have to decide first. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts for coming along. Some of you it's very early, some of you it's very late. So that takes a little bit of discipline. So rejoice in, I mean, for everybody, everyone's doing something at this time of night. So just everybody rejoice. And then think of, something you'd like to work on. Maybe it's your speech. Maybe you complain a lot. Maybe your mind's unhappy or you ruminate. Maybe you can kind of work on that a little bit. At my yoga studio today, there was on the desk, on the reception desk, there was a jar full of pens. And this woman went over and she just picked it up and said, "Oh, are these for us?" And I just said, "Oh, I don't think so." So, Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to say that taking the ungiven is stealing. So think about that as well. Oh, she wouldn't mind if I pick a rose from her garden. Ask first, just in case they do mind. Anyway, where were we? Conclusion. Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now we do chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift discovery of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And so I shall, O Master of all secrets, reveal just that to you most splendidly with single-minded focus. Listen well. How excellent, responded Vajrapani, so truly excellent, O Blessed One. Chapter 3, the survey of the 6 families. And then the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, surveyed in full the family great with mantras, the family of Vidyas, and the mantras, the family that is threefold by its nature, the family of and yet beyond the world, the family great in brightening the world, the foremost family of Mahamudra, and so the family great with great Ushnisas. Okay, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. Okay, everybody, good night, sleep well, have a wonderful day, those of you whose day has just started, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning. I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. If anyone has any requests, just let me know.